Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the choice. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and 10 pence less from the kickoff to the final whistle flow. We'll take the two and we're ready to go. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the choice. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. With the laugh and the cheer, we bring out our best. No serious analysis, no expert critiques, just a bunch of mates sharing plenty of drinks. We'll raise the low, from sideline jokes to post-match tales. All big goofs and their big fails. We're not so serious.
Wasted world of sports, eh?
With each ahoy, we raise our
Oh, he's copped the head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack.
Ahoy!
It's all about
He's nearly taken security's head off.
join us in our world.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.
Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. So come along and join our sporty crew.
Place to World of Sports crew.
It's fresh and the laughs are true.
Ahoy.
Wasted world of
How's everybody doing? Hey, nice surprise, right? Well, nice surprise for me because John Michael, our reigning, defending world champion, he's at it again. $14.99 super chat. Cheers, John. Your support very much appreciated. Burko, ahoy, mate. Chris Bradley, ahoy. Sammy Salsa, ahoy. Oh, this chat room's looking very interesting. We've got the Dolphins in a blowout, huh? Seems like the popular opinion, the Dolphins to win by a massive, massive score. I'm actually leaning the other way. If the Sea Eagles cannot get up for this one, I mean, it's a special occasion for DCE. If they can't get up for this one, I mean, obviously they're struggling with some injury concerns. It's been a disappointing season overall, and I completely understand the Dolphins are playing essentially for their final spot. To have any hope of sneaking into the top 8, they pretty much have to win this game, you would think. Without relying on results going their way, this would be their chance to kind of cement a spot in the 8. But we see it every single year. Teams outside the 8 with no chance of making it, they play spoil sports for the teams who are on the brink. Oh, and I've just got a feeling like Manly have been so disappointing. They've got a lot of pride to play for. Like they're an old school traditional club. I mean, they've got their honor to play for. And if they can't get up for a game like this, then, wow. I don't hold out too much hope for them in the future. They've severely underperformed. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think it's as clear cut as what people are thinking. See, I tipped the Dolphins initially. And obviously, I have to start going for a few upsets to try and make up some ground in the Wasted Water Sports tipping contest. So there is that to keep in mind as well. But yeah, I don't know, man. I wasn't going to do this game, but the more I thought about it, this could be a smoky of a cracker, if that makes sense. A game that nobody really expects to be a great contest. We could get another golden point. But anyway, I digress. 4 legs, same game multi. Tola Cola, Jermaine Asako, Jason Saab, and Maxi Feagai. That's my 4 legs. But yes, thank you once again, John Michael. Oh, I just want you to know I appreciate the support, and for everybody else, channel members, people just hanging out, very much appreciate it. Not expected, but very much appreciated. Each and every time. It's becoming such a nice surprise every time I jump onto a stream, and as soon as we hit go live, there in the chat room is a nice little message waiting there from John Michael. Hang on. I've taken a photo of it. I've got to send it to Michelle and Jace. Mookie, ahoy, mate. How are we doing? Let's see. All right, yes. Oh, that's right. I took a photo of that. I was going to send it to Michelle and Jace. And I'm going to say, oh, Johnny Boy's at it again. So that's the way I'm leaning in this one. I reckon Manly do pull it out of the fire. I'll let you know what they say, John Michael. Scallops and hot chips for this cold Saturday afternoon. Very nice. Right before the stream, I just ate a chicken salad sandwich with extra mayo. Semi Salsa, today you've got the Warriors beating the Wooden Spooners Titans 20-12. Was by 8. Yeah, you know what? That's another interesting one because the Warriors, they've got a top 4 spot to play for. But they seem to have a little bit of a, what's the word? A little bit of a hoodoo. The Titans seem to be a little bit of a hoodoo team for the old Wars. And yeah, I've got to say, once again, I am starting to pick a few upsets because I'm trying to make up ground in the wasted world of sports tipping. But, I mean, the Titans have got them the last couple of occasions. Titans are going for 3 in a row against the Warriors. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. So all these games that I said I wasn't going to cover today because I wasn't interested, and they probably weren't going to be very good, I've actually convinced myself that they're all going to be great. All right, let's see if we got a response from anybody. Oh, no, nobody's seen it yet. They must all be busy. Kickoff not far away in this one. Just to recap, I've got my 4-leg multi. Tola Cola. Jermaine Asako. Jason Saab. And Max Feagai. A little bit of a switcheroo for the Dolphins. Trey Fuller was originally named in the 14 jersey. He's come into fullback once again, backing up from his nice return the other week. The hammer moves into the centers. Jake Avarillo moves from the centers into the halves with, no Cody Nikorima. A little bit of a late switcheroo. That's how they've handled it. Kickoff not far away. Daily Cherry Evans. It is time for the Manly Seagulls to dig deep. Finally put on a performance that we know that they're capable of, because we've seen it. We've seen it in the past. I mean, they started the season okay. But then it all fell apart for them. Obviously, last night is going to be extremely difficult to live up to. with those two games. Game of Mel, ahoy there. How's the heart? I'll tell you what, my throat still hasn't recovered from last night. That was such a fantastic night of football to be involved with. Here come the Dolphins. Whoop, the hammer. I think that was the hammer. Nearly slipped running onto the field. Well, I shouldn't laugh because that could be quite dangerous, couldn't it? But it was quite funny to see, nonetheless. Scaife 97, ahoy, mates. Why am I awake? It's 6 a.m. Well, I mean, got to be awake at some time. That's all I've got for that. Got to be awake at some time. Why not 6 a.m.? DCE leads the way out with his 3 daughters, presumably. Because it'd be a bit weird if they were just random kids he found in the crowd. Gamer Mel says it was scary towards the end. Yeah. Just think. We were a Stephen Crichton bobbled ball away from back-to-back Golden Point games. That's how close it was. If Stephen Crichton reaches out and plants the ball down like that after he lost it, if he reached out like this, the ball landed and he gripped it back into his chest, we would have gone to Golden Point. Back-to-back Golden Point games. Can you imagine? What a Friday night that would have been. All right, teams are out. DCE ready to kick off. I have locked myself in. I'm on the Manly Sea Eagle. I can't change that now. Referee blows the whistle. And we are off and running here. The Dolphins with first use. And let's hope for another great game. Just like we've seen. Last night was fantastic. DC milestone game today. Yes, Game of Mel. We were talking a little bit about that in the pregame. And pretty much if DC can't lead the team and get them up for this occasion, then I just don't know what. I don't know what to make of Manly's year this year. Obviously, a lot of injury concerns that they've had throughout the course of it, but still, it doesn't really justify what they've dished up. Katoa puts this kick high as the Dolphins get through their first set, and Tommy T's at the back. Takes it on the 10. And Tommy Turbo with a slow play the ball. Dominant tackle there by the Hammer and Oren Keeley, who helped out. And they've come up with a mistake here. Lehigh Hopewade drops the ball. Big contact from Felise Kaufusi. And they're going to captain's challenge nice and early here. Well, this is a huge, huge call. Not even 2 minutes into the game, and Manly have elected for a captain's challenge. This seems like a huge risk. Now, Lehigh Hopewade, that ball spills out. Now, there's 3 Dolphins all over him here as he's getting up to try and play the ball. And there's hands all over the ball, but I can't see any breaking motion here. Boy, none of these camera angles are really showing anything. Here we go. This could be the one. No, Kaufusi is just removing his hand to put it out and brace himself for a fall. Manly have lost their captain's challenge. Unsuccessful. Boy, that's a really, really poor start to the captain's challenging and the end of it for him. Not even 2 minutes into the game, Manly's captain's challenge done. I mean, I hope that that is not summing up their night ahead. Here come the Dolphins now. Full set of 6, 20 metres out. Lined up to the right. Here's Katoa. Puts the afterburners on. He's got Avarillo. Numbers to the right. Asako steps back in field, and he's picked up and dumped towards the sideline by Lehigh Hopewade, trying to make up for that mistake. It's still on, though, for Francis Molo. The Dolphins 10 out. Marshall King fires it left for Donahue. Inside ball for Kaufusi. Bang in front of the post here. 10 metres out. The Dolphins still. Marshall King goes right. Short ball from Katoa, and bursting through is Fuiaki. A dream start for the Dolphins. They're up 4-0 with the kick to come, and it's off the back of a tackle 2 dropped ball by Lehigh Hopewade. Well, Manly, this is not the start that they wanted or needed, to say the least. Knee crumbler, ahoy mate. Thank you very much, by the way, for your little tune that you sent me. Apologies, I haven't answered you yet. I get tied up, you know, and I think that I've answered these things. What a start for the Dolphins, though. Fuiaki bursting through. Some feeble defense. And now, for some reason, when I switch over to this screen, my green screen, for whatever reason, has gone absolutely chaotic. There we go. That's better. Nautica, do I still think the Panthers are contenders? Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it from this perspective, don't think about it from the perspective that they lost to the Storm and the Raiders. Think about it from the perspective that they pushed the top 2 teams on the ladder to Golden Point. So absolutely, I think the Panthers are still contenders. They took the top 2 teams back-to-back weeks to Golden Point and very nearly won both of them. Probably should have won both of them. I still wouldn't want to be any team coming up against the Panthers in finals time. Marquise Brown. Is there a way to watch the actual match? KO Sports. KO Sports, mate. If you're in Australia, that is. If you're not in Australia, watch NRL.com, I believe is the website. Watch NRL.com. If you're asking me if there's a way to watch the match for free, can't answer that. Oh, they've come up with a spilt ball here. The Dolphins and Manly have a chance to crack straight back. 35 metres out. 0 tackle. Just what the doctor ordered. In midfield on 0 tackle. Brooks inside ball for Lodge. Matty Lodge backs into the defense. 20 metres out. Slow play the ball. Brooks at first receiver again. DCE to the line. Out the back for Tommy Turbo. Taken down inside the 20. Into midfield for Tavanga. On to Brooks. Heads across field. Hopewade angling back in. 10 metres out. Cherry Evans. Inside ball to Takiaho, who wasn't expecting it. But he does well to hold on. Cherry Evans steps off the right. Gets the ball away for Turbo. Turbo back in field for Brooks. Ben Trebojevic now grubbers into the in goal. Trey Fuller comes across and gets it, but he's sacked by Tommy Talau and Tolakola for a goal line dropout incoming. Knee crumbler. The Waz rest of the season prediction 1,200 to 0. Well, of course. Of course, buddy. Dolphins, they don't go short with the restart. They don't quite go long either, but it almost makes it up to halfway. I suppose that was a pretty decent whack. But Manly's still on the attack here. 30 metres out, right in front of the post. They go left for Brooks. Short ball for Lodge. And Lodge is tackled on the 20. Brooksy again in midfield. Steps off the right, and then he slips into contact. Waddell tackled. Out to this right edge they are. 2 tackles left. Simpkin looking for a way through. Gets the ball free to Tavanga. Cut out pass for Brooks. Left they go. Nice short ball for Ben Trebojevic. And he had no support of his left hip. Tommy Turbo infield for Lodge. And Lodge burrows under. Manly have hit back. There's some excitement by the fans in the background. And why not? 6-4 kick to come. Matthew Lodge. Well, it's been done through the forwards at the moment. Both teams. Penifuiaki for the Dolphins. And now Lodge for Manly. A second rower and a prop. Come on, backline. Pick up your act. Nice hit back, though, from Manly. So a dropped ball has ultimately led to a try for both teams. Joshua Stewart says this is going to be one of those games where both teams score 30 plus. You know what? I've got a feeling you're absolutely correct about that. A very high scoring game incoming as Cherry Evans puts it down the middle from just to the left of the post. Easy conversion. 6 apiece. Both teams have shown that they're going to be capable of making the opposition pay for any mistakes. Manly dropped ball. Dolphins score off the very next set. Dolphins dropped ball. It took Manly a few more sets to get the job done, but they got the job done. Yeah, I think this is going to be a very, very big scoring game. Jermaine Asako with the restart. And Manly let it bounce. Oh, that's dangerous. Cherry Evans wanted nothing to do with it, and Saab, luckily, it sits up right on his chest. And some good front foot ball in the end for Manly, but boy, what a risk. BJ, TO7, ahoy there, mate. Under 8 tries is what you need, eh? Game of Mel. Am I streaming the other games today? I'm still considering it. I'm still on the fence. And they've come up with a spilt ball now. Jazz Tavanga whacks the ground in frustration. Spills it on halfway. Boy, the completion rate for both teams is going to wind up being dismal as well, isn't it? Well, it was ripped away by Jeremy Marshall-King, in fairness. Marshall-King did extremely well there, so maybe a little too harsh on Jazz Tavanga there, but he still needed to secure the ball a bit better than that. As Kaufusi's brought to ground, 35 out in midfield. Left they go for Donahue. Well read out the back by Tommy Talau. Shutting Averillo down before he even gets to take a step. Fifth and last, Asako kicking for the right edge. And an easy take over there for Lehigh Hopewade. 9 minutes gone, 6 apiece. It remains. Surely high contact there. But no. Play on, says Ashley. Ashley Klein's the referee, by the way, so anything could happen in this bloody game. 3 tackles gone. Manly up to their own 30. Takiaho, late offload back for Simpkin. Doesn't really gain too much advantage for them. Cherry Evans into dummy half, and Tommy Turbo takes the last hit up. Late offload again to Simpkin. Poor Simpkin's like, stop giving me the ball, damn it. Fifth and last on halfway. Cherry Evans goes long with the kick. And taken at the back here by the Dolphins. 10 out from their own line. And winding up. Nafahu gets it out of the red zone. Gamer Mel, you're going to join later. If I do, you're not able to come back. Might come back this stream. No worries, Gamer Mel. You enjoy your day, no matter what happens. Tyler Powell, ahoy there. I've tipped Manly in this one, in a close one. Trey Fuller now to the hammer. It opens up down the left for Nafahu. Beats the cover defense and then slips. Gets up and goes again. But Tommy Turbo brings him down on the 30-meter line. 2 tackles left here for the Dolphins. Back into midfield. Fifth and last. Francis Molo plays it. They stay left for Katoa. Dinks it in over the top. Should be an easy take for Tommy, and it is. But another clean line break there for the Dolphins. Down that left edge they went. Terry Evans from dummy half. Steals some meters. Catching them napping. Saab with a good strong carry. Into midfield. Talau just shuffles it on for Brooks. Brooks to Hopawade. Looks to put the fend on Katoa. But Katoa and Feagai hold on. Short side they go. Brooks back in field for Trebojevic. That's Ben. Tavanga back to Ben on the wraparound. Almost opens them up in midfield. And Avarillo brings Tommy T to the ground. Fifth and last. Jerry Evans kicks for the corner. And it bounces up. Oh, it bounces awkwardly in the end for Trey Fuller, who goes back to collect it. And another strong kick return on the back foot. Trey Fuller still manages to find a way forward. Cheers, John Michael. Big shout out to Johnny Michael's mum. Through the hands they go, and they've opened them up on the right edge. This time the Dolphins. Feagai goes straight through. And he's brought down by Tommy Turbo and Lehigh. Hopawade retreating. 2 tackles left. The Dolphins. They're just, high shot there from Takiaho right out in front. Slung the lazy arm out. And Avarillo's been taken high. Penalty. Take the 2. Fair way out. Fair way out, so they'll put this into the corner. Well, 35 metres. That's very kickable, right? 35 metres right in front. Very kickable. They've put it into the corner, though, the Dolphins. Here they come. Molo takes it to the 20. Slow play the ball. Donahue, short ball to Kaufusi. 10 metres out now, just to the left of posts. Marshall King, dummies right. Goes back left. Avarillo dumps it inside for Keeley. Back into midfield for Kaufusi. And Donahue now trapped right in front of the posts. Play 3. Marshall King sends it right for Katoa. There's that inside ball again. Fini Fuiaki opens them up. Set restart. Manly are offside. Now a slow play the ball. Crash ball for Molo. Runs into a brick wall of defenders. Marshall King from dummy half. Dummies and ghosts his way through. Jeremy Marshall King. 10 points to 6. That was too easy for the hooker. Decoy run by Felise Kaufusi. Through all the defenders, and Marshall King, he just slipped straight on through. Dives in under the sticks. Marshall King gets himself on the try scorer sheet. Oh boy, defense optional, ball handling optional. That's the way this game's going so far. New channel, ahoy mates. Jermaine Osako from right in front. The simplest of simple conversions incoming. Makes it 12 points to 6. Dolphins in the lead. Jake Trbojevic there on the bench. Well, not the bench. On the sideline completely. Watching on, frustrated, I'm sure. Watching all the action unfold, watching his team, well, get destroyed at the moment. The Dolphins in that last little passage of play where they got a couple of set restarts and a penalty, they just marched upfield at will. $12 points to 6. DCE just slowing things down here for Manly. The Dolphins playing like a team who are fighting for a top 8 spot. Crazy, huh? Jerry Evans gets us restarted, and Kaufusi from the back fence. 15 minutes gone in this one. I think it's going to be one of those games that it's going to be exciting, but perhaps it'll be made exciting for all the wrong reasons, if you know what I mean. What I mean by that, obviously, is we're seeing a lot of errors. We're seeing some really poor defense. So it could be one of those really high-scoring, close games, but the quality of footy, you kind of look at it and go, well, this was a bit abysmal. 5th and last now for the Dolphins to set off points. They make it up to halfway. For Kurtoa, kicking down for Hopewade, backing up, takes it on the fingertips, just outside his own goal line, bends away from one, beats Marshall King, and what a kick return there from Lehigh Hopewade. They're still in their own red zone. John Michael, you miss the following 3 players so much. Matthew Lodge, but Matthew Lodge is playing today, John Michael. Do you mean Matthew Ridge? By any chance? Cola tries to get on the outside, but he's taken down. Slightly high tackle from Feagai. Benny Trbojevic up to halfway. Chris Bradley, you look forward to the streams and you're glad you found it. Thanks, Dan. No, thank you, Chris Bradley, channel member. As this one goes high. Dolphins let it bounce, and it sets up for Hopewade. Hopewade puts the fend on, hurls it back in field. Brooks toes it through. It sets up in the end goal, and Luke Brooks scores. Lehigh Hopewade on the bounce. Puts the fend on. Just fires the ball back in field. And it's towed through by Brooks. He sits up in the end goal, and he scores. 12-10. Kick to come. ETH, ahoy mate. Absolutely. Rugby Championship. Both games. Wallabies versus Springboks. Argentina versus All Blacks. Here it is. 5th and last on halfway. They put it up. The Dolphins don't get to the ball on the fall. It bounces. Hopewade collects it. Puts the fend on, but falls, losing his balance. Tosses it back in field where Brooks puts the toe to it, and it sits up in the end goal for a try. Matthew Ridge. Yes, okay. Yeah, I thought so. Because you've said Matthew Lodge, Reuben Wiki, and the legend Stacey Jones. I was thinking, because Matthew Lodge is playing today for Manly, you couldn't possibly be missing him if he's there. You know what I mean? And I thought, Reuben Wiki, Stacey Jones, a couple of Kiwi legends. He must mean Matthew Ridge, another Kiwi legend. Glad we got to the bottom of that. There's Cherry Evans from out wide, about 5 in from touch. Hooking back, gets hooking back, bends it through the posts to lock things up at 12 all. About 10 in from touch. The favoured side for a right-footed kicker. He's used the breeze perfectly there and bent it back through the sticks. Scrappy old game, this one, but we are getting some excitement. All locked up at 12 apiece. Yes, indeed, John Michael. That is correct. Matthew Ridge Manly Seibold, goal kicker. Could play fullback, could play wing, could play centre. Dolphins with the restart. 12 apiece. Speaking of Matthew Lodge, he has just left the field for his first little rest. Still inside their own red zone. Manly struggling to get some go forward this set. Takiaho, slow play the ball. Cherry Evans across field. Drops it off on the inside. And Corey Waddell plays it up to the 40 now. Goes Jazz Tavunga, fifth and last. Big kick needed here for DCE. Steps outside the 40. Puts it down the middle, over the top of Trey Fuller. Fuller backs up and takes it. Throws a risky cutout ball to the Hammer, but it pays off and the Hammer's in space. Over halfway, slips on the 40, gets up, and he's got support back in field from Fuller. Fuller ducks under a tackle, back to the Hammer. 15 metres out in front of the post. What a kick return. Avarillo earns a set restart. Numbers to the right. Donahue to Katoa. The double pump to Finifuiaki. Well read in the end there by Tola Kola. 5 metres out, and you can't slap down the hand of the hooker. Blatant penalty right out in front. Well, not right out in front, but just off to the right of the post. Tommy Turbo should know better. You can't just whack the hooker's arm like that and knock the ball out. Marshall King taps. Kaufusi takes the hit up. Dolphins on the attack again. This is end-to-end stuff. Exciting, perhaps, for all the wrong reasons. Donahue, inside for Keeley. Well read by Simpkin and Tavunga. They lose ground. 4 line breaks to 1 in favour of the Dolphins. 13 missed tackles by Manly. Not good enough. Not good enough at all. Halfway through this set, still 5 metres out. Donahue out the back to Katoa. Shows it inside. Goes outside. Avarillo. Cut out ball. But Nofahu tries to step back in field. And DCE brings him down. 2 tackles left. Avarillo at first receiver. Heading across field. Kaufusi flat-footed. Goes out the back to an even more flat-footed Katoa. And nobody seems to know what to do here for the Dolphins. They end up just meekly surrendering. 5th and last. Katoa to the line. Out the back to nobody. Hammer goes back and collects it. He throws a ball out for Marshall King. Marshall King with the crossfield kick. This has worked out very well for them. What a take in the air by the Dolphins. They lose it. Half a metre out from the try line. That'll be a handover. Scrappy play, but it nearly worked out quite all right for them. John Michael, your old churchmates used to say you looked like Matthew Ridge, eh? Very cool, very cool. And it is indeed All Blacks versus Pumas tonight, and Wallabies versus the Springboks as well. The rematches. Can the Wallabies go back-to-back against the Springboks for the first time in, well, probably since the John Eales days? Up to halfway goes Tavunga. Brooks as they go left, Manly. Tommy Turbo breaks through. And he's taken down by Katoa, 5th and last. Cherry Evans stays down the short side. Back for Brooks. Brooks chips over the top. Looking to regather. It's loose on the turf. And the Dolphins come away with it again. Donahue almost breaks out. And he'll stay down and play it here on the 30 as he tries to milk a penalty. 0 tackle, that was. Well, in fairness, he's still down in back play, Donahue. So that's the problem that milking has created, is we never know when people are being serious anymore. That's the problem that's been created. I now just immediately assume the player is staying down to try and milk a penalty. As it transpires, sometimes they're genuinely hurt. Katoa gives a nice ball inside to Avarillo, but Manly's defence numbers up. Finifuiaki stands on the 30-metre line. They can't bring the big man down. Fifth and last, back for Katoa. Puts this one high, contestable kick, but taken at the back by Tommy Turbo. Tries to spin away from the tackle of Fuller. Fuller makes a second effort there, lucky to not give away a penalty. Turbo appealing to the referee like, come on, Ash. 16 and a half to go in this opening 40, and it's 12 apiece. Both teams making each other pay for mistakes. You would have to say, though, Dolphins probably... You give the Dolphins the edge here. I am, at least. Giving the Dolphins the edge. They're slightly on top. As Manly shift the ball out to the right. It spills free here from Tommy Talau. Illegally, says Ashley Klein. And it's a penalty late in the count to Manly on halfway. They tap and go. Catching the Dolphins napping. Terry Evans. Nice heads-up play there by the captain. Set restart as Navale carries strong, almost to the red zone. 25 out here, right in front. Simpkin goes left for Tavunga. Brooks heads across to the left wing. Short ball for Kohler, and then it's loose out wide, picked up by Ben Trebojevic, and a referee's whistle. Then the ball was dragged forward by Manly. Knock on Dolphins ball. It was a late call. Yeah, there's the knock on there from Tommy Turbo. Scrum down here, Dolphins ball. Hammer in at first receiver from the scrum. Taken down, 15 out from their own line here, the Dolphins. Kaufusi. Been strong today, Felise Kaufusi. Ains, Stainton, ahoy, mates. I have tipped Manly in a very close one. I've got the close one going all right so far, but I'm giving the edge to the Dolphins at the moment. This opening 25 minutes, Dolphins just winning the territory and possession battle at the moment. Katoa from inside the 40, can't get it over the top of Jason Saab. And let's face it, that would be very difficult to do. Jason Saab is a gigantic human being. Tommy Turbo with the first hit up. Brings it out to the 40. 14 minutes left to play, and Manly get a penalty. Holding down of Tommy Turbo. They tap and go again here, Manly. They're electing to not kick to touch. The Dolphins are a little bit slow to retreat the 10 off the back of those penalties. And DCE, he's eating them up, taking the quick taps. A surprise tactic. Here he is in midfield. DCE drops it off for Sipley. 25 meters out, right in front of the post. Sipley plays it. Terry Evans wants it on the right. He's going to have a run. Steps through two. Offloads back for Simpkin. Simpkin dummies. And he's taken down on the 20. Slow to get up and play this one. They go left for Brooks. Brooks out the back for Tommy Turbo. Cut out pass for Hopewade. Hopewade for the corner. He's bumped into touch by great cover defense from the Dolphins. But has he got the ball down first? Yes, says Ashley Klein. The cover defense was there. They bumped him. But somehow, Lehigh Hopowade's got this ball to ground. I've got to see this replay. Brooks takes it to the line. The late ball out the back for Tommy Turbo. Asako jams in on Kohler, which left Hopewade unmarked. Tommy Turbo with the cutout pass right on the chest. And Hopewade for the corner. He is bumped by Trey Fuller. and does just plant the ball down in the field of play. Trey Fuller's done well, but Lehigh Hopewade, strength beyond his size, jams it down in the corner, and it's 16 points to 12. John Michael says, Dan, speaking of giant men, when I think of giant men, first person to come to mind is Petro Civoniceva. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I will say Brad Thorne. When I think of giant men, I'm going to say Brad Thorne. Kerry Evans from bang on the sideline. Manly leading 16-12. Kick to come. Kerry Evans again looking to use that breeze, bending it back, and it sneaks through the near upright. 18 points to 12. Another great kick. Oh, Sam Backo. Yeah, what a beast. Cheers to Sam Backo. NRL fan 25. Ahoy, mate. 5 tries so far in this game, and not a single tick off the multi. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Back underway. Manly leading 18-12. 11 minutes to go until the break. An early shift here from Manly, and Kohler bursts straight through. Hopewade in support. Up over halfway. Bullymore is in field. Draws in Trey Fuller. Gets it off to Bullymore, and Ethan Bullymore plants it down. Manly have gone back-to-back from the kickoff. 22-12 kick to come. The Dolphins, just like they did against the Broncos, are starting to fall apart. Manly go the early shift from their own half. Now, that was video game stuff. That was. Tackle 1 from the restart. An immediate shift to the left to Vunga. Onto Kohler. Kohler bumps off in the one-on-one tackle. Gets the arm free. Trey Fuller doesn't fall for the dummy, but Hopewade still gets the arms free. Ethan Bullymore. Across he goes. Joshua Stewart says he's strong because he's running from his dad's silly games. Oh, dear. I applaud you, sir. JC Smoke, my thoughts on Rocco, Sammy, RTS, and Lika. Anytime try scorer. I'll have a think about that. Kerry Evans, from a lot closer this time, muffs it. Well, wouldn't you know it? He kicks him from the sideline from 10 meters to the left of the post. He completely muffs it. 22 points to 12. It stays. I love me some Halasima, JC Smoke. So I love that one. Philip Sami's a gun for the Titans. Tuivasa-Sheck, well, he's going to be hit or miss, isn't he? Is he playing left wing? RTS? Okay, well, he's named in the number 5 jersey, so presumably he'll be starting on the left, unless they do the old switcheroo. Yeah, I think that's Rocco Berry, I think, might be questionable. But then, having said that, I don't really know who else I would pick. Adam Pompey, maybe. But then, presumably, presumably Rocco Berry's going to be over on the left too, right? So you've got yourself covered. Berry, RTS, assuming that they attack left a lot. Yeah, you know what? I like it. Jerry Evans puts this one high. Fifth and last. Manly are just rolling through now. Batted back by Tommy Turbo. Still fifth and last. Saab is in the clear. Reaches out. Oh, he's half a metre short, Jason Saab. He could have reached out. He's got those big go-go gadget arms. Why didn't he reach out? The Dolphins just survive. Manly are on a roll here. Let's see. Did his arm hit the deck? Oh, he just couldn't get that arm extended. Jason Saab, so close yet so far. Oh, boy. Ah, yeah, Joshua Stewart. Willie Mason, how could we forget about him? He was a big boy. Is a big boy. Still. Fifth and last now for the Dolphins. 40 metres out. Katoa puts this one high. They need something to swing the momentum here, the Dolphins. Saab takes the high ball. Great kick chase there from the Hammer. Manly will start this set on their own 10. 7 minutes to go until the halftime break. 22 points to 12. Low play the ball. Oh, what a big run there from Navale. Goes straight over the top of poor old Donahue, I think it was. Fifth and last now. Oh, Manly have spelt it. Dolphins dive on it. Ray Stone comes away with it. Zero tackle here for the Dolphins. Here's their chance. That's what they were waiting for. An opportunity now to hit back before halftime. A loose carry and a full set of 6. Nichols up to the 20. They've got some fresh legs out there as well, the Dolphins. Katoa, late ball for Kerr. Kerr for Avarillo. Taken down on the 10. I reckon they'll score here, the Dolphins. Katoa, dummies, takes the line on. 5 metres out now on play 4. Katoa, though, taken out of the line. Avarillo. He takes the line on. Fifth and last, right in front, 2 metres out. Katoa gets it out the back. Looks to Grubber in behind the line. Bullymore traps it with the boot and dives on it. Manly have possession. 5 out from their own line. 6 minutes to go until the break. Manly, early shift again here out to the left. Kohler steps off the left boot and breaks them open again. Flung down on the 20-metre line. Desperation from Finifuiaki. Hopawade offloads for Turbo. Tommy Turbo back in field for Brooks. Brooks takes it up to the 40. Manly not afraid to throw the ball around, taking the Dolphins by surprise perhaps. And Tolu Kola having a field day. Jerry Evans, the low, flat kick, bouncing it up for Trey Fuller on the 20. Fuller heads to the left edge. Met hard by Tommy Talau. 5 minutes left in the opening half. Dolphins to start this set on their own 30. Stay hunky, ahoy, mate. Chris Bradley, when you think of forwards with no sense of self-preservation, Martin Lang. Yes. Martin Lang, 100%. I think he might have played for the Sharks as well. The Hammer in a little bit of space. Goes in and away, but can't get on the outside of Talau. Fifth and last now for the Dolphins. 20 metres out from the line. Avarillo to Katoa. They head left. Loose pass for Nafahu. Pops it back up for the Hammer. Hammer heads across back in field. They race up quickly here on Fuller. Fuller's taken down. That's a handover. Frustration here from the Dolphins. They couldn't get the kick away. And they also managed to lose about 10 metres in the process. I'll tell you, somebody who I think was underappreciated in terms of toughness, Les Davidson. Is anyone old enough to remember Les Davidson? Late offload here for Simpkin again. Gives it to Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans heads back in field. He's got Tommy Turbo and some runners out to the left. Navale, 35 out. Here's Tommy Turbo. Late offload. Nicely done there for Waddell. And then Waddell pops the pass out straight to Nafahu. Three minutes left until the break. So both teams now failing to get to their end of set. 3 minutes until the break. Fuller shuffles this one onto Feagai. Tipped up in the tackle by Ben Trebojevic. And also Luke Brooks holding on there for dear life. Stone on the inside ball. Takes it up into Manly territory. Katoa, short ball. And called forward there to Lemuelu. If only they were passing to Alex Johnston for a try to go towards his record, they would have let that one go. Stay Hunky says, what's the percentage for Manly to make it to the playoffs? The probability percentage. Well, I mean, it's not zero, but it's got to be pretty close to zero, doesn't it? Manly are already very, very much on the outer as they win the scrum here, and Bullymore takes it up to the 40. Inside the last 2 minutes, let's see, they're on 24 points. A win here would make it 26 points with 2 games to play. So the maximum they could get is 30, which would only make them equal to the Broncos. And that's assuming that the Broncos don't win any more games and the Roosters don't win any more games. Saab is in open space. Grubber's in behind. And then they need it to sit up, but it's dived on by the Hammer. Try saver. The Hammer, right on his own goal line, pulls off a miracle save while I was looking at the table. Big Jason Saab was in open space. Yes, Joshua Stewart, Souths and the Sharks are the 2 teams I remember, at least. Inside ball here for Fuller. Nearly opens them up inside the last minute of the half. 5th and last. Dolphins kick from halfway, trying to get it in behind Tommy T, who backs up and takes it over his head. And he's got Hopewade back there in support. And Hopewade, oh, he's deceivingly strong, Lehigh Hopewade. Stands his ground in a 3-man tackle. Crazy, because you look at him and you just... Buddy, look at the bloke and there's nothing of him, but he's obviously so powerful. Cherry Evans now looks to Grubber in behind the line as the last play of the first half falls for the Dolphins. And that is half-time. 22 points to 12. Manly have come to play after a poor start. They take a comfortable lead into the half-time break. Gaz Johnson, ahoy, mate. So, yeah, stay hunky. It's... If the Roosters win against the Eels, Manly's probability of making the finals basically becomes 0. Because the best that they can do, the best that they can end up is 30 points, which would have them equal with the Broncos. But Manly are currently at a -24 for and against. The Broncos are at +114. So Manly would have to win the remaining games by big scores, and the Broncos would have to lose the remainder of their games by big scores. The Roosters are also +92 on their for and against, and all they need is one more win to get to 30 points, which is the maximum Manly can get. So Manly have got to get some big, big wins and hope that Broncos and the Roosters lose and lose big. Panthers are already beyond Manly's reach, so the Panthers won't drop out. The only chance of the Panthers dropping out of the 8 is from the Dolphins and the Roosters both continuing to win. Both continuing to win. If the Dolphins lose this game, they can't catch the Panthers either. So if the Dolphins lose this, the Panthers are safely into the 8, no matter what happens for the rest of the season. JC Smoke says Tane Taupiki has possibly done his ACL in the New South Wales Cup. Oh, God. More injury crises for the Warriors, huh? Jeez. They're not having a good run at the worst possible time of the year. Gaz has said that Les Davidson signed for Warrington along with Steve Roach and Les Boyd. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, so there you go. Stay hunky. That's my analysis of finals probability for Manly. It's, probably 1% at the moment, but a Roosters win makes that 0%. Nautica says, what's my girlfriend's predictions? I don't have a girlfriend. Nautica. Gaz Johnson says, Joshua, yeah, it was crazy times. Les Boyd was at your cousin's wedding because he was a teammate. Oh, that's cool. Some of these blokes, I reckon, would be good fun to get on the Terps with. You know who I'd love to have a beer with? I would love to have a beer with... I reckon Matty Johns. Matty Johns. Oh, sorry. Grand final prediction. My bad. I thought you were asking for my girlfriend's prediction, and I'm like, what an odd question. I see. Grand final prediction. Look, I'm still saying Melbourne Storm Panthers. I've been saying that since the end of the grand final last year, that we would get a rematch. And I haven't really seen anything to change my mind. With the Melbourne Storm winning. All right, halftime here, 22 points to 12. Manly have come to play. Can they keep it up for another 40 minutes? I'm going to have a quick break and be right back. Second half coming up after this. Actually, have I got... have I got Knee Crumbler? Knee Crumbler, have I got your song here? Let's see if it's still up and see if it plays. Here's the song from the Knee Crumbler for Wasted Water Sports.
Shine bright, Dan steps in, the crowd's delight. His moves so sharp, eyes wide with awe. Legends he's made in every crowd he draws. Cheer after cheer, the noise gets wild. Every shot he takes leaves us feeling. never gives up. Skill so pure, no one can stop him, no duh. From the free throws to the slam dunks, he's the star, no one can talk him down. Wasted world of sports, here we go. Dan is the man, let's see him go. Ahoy there, captain of the show. Legend he makes in every single throw. Wasted world of sports, here we go. Dan is the man, let's see him go. Ahoy there, captain of the show. Legends he makes in every shameful throw.
Feel like some weed now. Cheers for that. Knee crumbler finally got around to playing it. Halftime here, 22 points to 12. Manly over the Dolphins. Can they keep going for another 40? We've seen Manly guilty of dropping off. Chris Bradley, you back the prediction, but you've got the Panthers winning. So you've got the Panthers going the 5, Pete. 5 in a row. Yeah, I think they'll go very, very close. Chris Bradley. I think they'll go very close. I think that they, for about 50 minutes, they had that game against the Raiders firmly in control. Same against the Storm. For about 50 minutes, they just had the game firmly in control, back-to-back weeks. Yeah, I mean, obviously they'll be disappointed that they didn't get the win in either one of them. But, oh, Panther, ahoy. Yes, we just did the maths before. And Manly will also be hoping that not only did they win this game, but they'll be hoping that the Roosters get upset by the Eels later on, which, mind you, I think is quite the possibility. Could happen. Manly at the moment are about a 1% chance of making the playoffs. If the Roosters win, that becomes a 0% chance. And obviously, if the Dolphins come back and win this game, it makes it a 0% chance as well. But yes, we had a look at that, and yeah, Dolphins' loss means that the Panthers are safe, and they can perhaps start resting some players. But yeah, Chris Bradley, I'm standing true to my prediction of a Storm Panthers grand final, because I think people are too focused on, I mean, it's a glass half full, glass half empty situation, isn't it? How do you look at it? Okay, Isaiah Yeo was not match fit. Dylan Edwards had probably the worst game of his career. And it was mistakes by both of those players that swung the momentum in the match. Now, you would think that come finals time, that wouldn't happen. In both weeks, they looked pretty firmly in control of the games, and until there were late swings, I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I would take the viewpoint, as I mentioned before, that rather than looking at it from the perspective, well, the Panthers lost in back-to-back weeks, I would look at it, well, in back-to-back weeks, they took team number 1 and team number 2 on the ladder right down to the wire, losing in Golden Point I mean, to unusual situations, right? I mean, Moses Leota is never going to make that mistake again. The game last night, a ball rebounds off the upright and the opposition goes length of the field to score. That's probably never going to happen again in these players' lifetime. So I would look at it more from the perspective of they took the top two teams on the ladder, the golden point, when 10 weeks ago they were running dead last. So they've shown that they can stick with the very best. Like, those have been the top two teams on the ladder for most of the season. And they showed that they could not only run with them, but they were well on top for over 50 minutes in both games. And rest assured that they're on top for 50 minutes in both games come finals time. Those same mistakes aren't happening and the foot's not coming off the gas. Not in finals footy. So yeah, I wouldn't be concerned at all if I'm a Panthers supporter. As the old Panther has just pointed out, if the Dolphins lose this game, there's no way at all that they possibly drop out of the top 8. It'd be risky to sort of go into the finals with no momentum, but it might be worth resting some blokes. Just accept that the top 4 is probably out of the picture. And by the same token, we're going to see the Storm and the Raiders, who are now pretty much guaranteed of 1 and 2 in any order. I mean, they've both pretty much guaranteed that they will get a home final. I think they start resting guys as well. So they've got some losses coming their way, particularly Brisbane playing the Storm in the final round. I think Storm will rest pretty much their entire squad. But anyways, second half, moments away, Manly coming out onto the field. They definitely rushed Yo back too fast. It was his dropped ball. He had a carry. Like they were ready. They were ready to put the foot on the throat. And Isaiah Yo came up with a very uncharacteristic dropped ball from a loose carry. And the momentum swung back around. But it was Dylan Edwards, really. Dylan Edwards had probably the worst game I've ever seen him have in his entire career. Played himself out of a Kangaroos jumper, in my opinion. Dylan Edwards is never going to play that bad again. And I'd give him the rocket. You might end up costing yourself a game, but if I'm Ivan Cleary, I'm giving him a boot up the arse. I'm dropping him down to reserve grade for next week. If Dane Laurie's fit, slap Dane Laurie in there. Because, I think Dylan Edwards just needs a bit of a wake-up call. He was atrocious last night. But, I mean, that being said, when you've been the best fullback in the game for the past 5 years, you're probably entitled to a bad game or two. It just so happens it came at the worst possible time for the Panthers. Second half is underway here. Manly went into the sheds on top. 22 points to 12. Can they keep it going? Or will the Dolphins spoil DCE's party? Another shift out to the left for Ben Trebojevic, taken down by Feagai. And now he's holding his chin. He's staying down. He's rubbing his nose. He's removing his mouth guard. He's doing everything possible to try and get the penalty here. As Maxi Feagai was over the top and whacked him around the chin. Fifth and last, Jerry Evans puts the kick up. An easy take at the back here for Fuller, who sends it over to Nafahu. Gets away from Talau, but then he's met by Saab. Big defense from Manly, keeping the Dolphins pinned down in their own red zone. A minute and a half gone in the second half. Manly up by 10. A Katoa goes out the back for Fuller, who's up in the line. Gives it off now for Feagai. And Feagai tackled 40 metres out. Enterprising play there from the Dolphins. Katoa heads across field. Nice cutout pass to Averillo. Now the hammer puts the left foot step on. Half a break. Had no support to offload to fifth and last. Katoa from 20 out, dinks it in over the top. And it's batted back by the Dolphins off DCE. Not played at. It's still fifth and last. That one was played at as it's trapped by the big man. And he picks it up and he runs away here. Big Sipley goes up over halfway. And now Bullymore bursts onto it. Manly with front foot ball and all the momentum in the world here. Numbers left. Brooks, that's where he goes. Bacola. Inside the red zone they go. Halfway through this set. Big Sipley. What a run. Brooks, flat-footed, onto DCE. Cut-out pass for Talau. Talau with the flick pass for Saab. Saab brought down in the one-on-one tackle. Beautiful work there by Nafahu. Outmatched in size. Simpkin off to Brooks. Nice short ball here for Navale. And he goes half a metre out, fifth and last. Manly stay left for Brooks. Tommy Turbo, cut-out pass. Hits the chest of Lehigh Hopewade. And Hopewade gets another. Manly look like they're going to roll on with it here today. 26-12, kick to come. What a start to the second half. Tommy Turbo having an absolute blinder, linking up there with Hopewade. Unbelievable. All these tries. Not a single tick. Jermaine Asako again caught jamming in. He has been really poor defensively tonight, Jermaine Asako. He is not trusting his inside defender. Beautiful work there from the home side. Nice set-piece play. And that combination is forming nicely. Tommy Trebojevic to Lehigh Hopewade on that left edge. We know the Dolphins are capable of scoring quick tries. But we also know they're equally capable of falling off a cliff. Cherry Evans from right beside the post puts it down the middle. 28 points to 12. What a start to the second half here for Manly. $28-12. Looking good. Manly with the last 4 tries unanswered. Dolphins with the restart. Big Sipley, who started it all. The Dolphins were on the attack, looked to get a grubber kick through the line. And Big Sipley, another early shift left here. Kohler puts the fend on, half a break. Still going Kohler, dragging Katoa literally across the turf. They're loving this left edge. FDJT, says Asako, showing again and again he's a gutless dog in defense. Talau straightens, bumps off the hammer. 2 tackles left here for Manly. 40 out from the line. Cherry Evans heading across field. Needs a runner. He's got Brooks. Brooks out the back to nobody. Kohler has to retreat to collect it, but it slows the play down. Fifth and last, 40 out. Cherry Evans, a high floating bomb. A tester here for the Dolphins. They let it bounce, and it bounces into touch, luckily for them. Yeah, I think in fairness to Asako, he's just been caught out with defensive reads. I wouldn't say he's gutless. But he's definitely misreading the defense, not trusting his inside man. On that occasion, it was Max Feagai, who probably had the play covered, but Asako caught jamming in, leaving Hopewade unmarked. Not for the first time tonight. 28-12, Dolphins through Josh Kerr, looking to get some forward momentum. Katoa at the back, it goes for Fuller. And just getting in each other's way there, the Dolphins. They've come up with the spilt ball. Trey Fuller was trying to go out the back of shape, and there was a runner, a decoy runner, who's got in the way and lost the ball. They're an absolute rabble at the moment, the Dolphins. Seven minutes gone in the second half. One-way traffic at the moment here at Four Pines. DCE. Cut-out pass here for Talau. Talau tries to put the step on. Hammer brings him down, 1-on-1. Over on that right edge. No Reuben Garrick tonight, of course. I would have had Reuben Garrick in my multi. Brooks, the double pump and short ball up for Tommy Turbo. 20 meters out from the line, just to the left of post. Navale in at first receiver. Brooks onto Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans is German suplexed by Ray Stone. WWE style. Suplex City. Fifth and last here for Manly. Navale to Cherry Evans. Set restart on the last tackle. A set restart. That is a coach killer. Sipley barges over the line. He's held up just short. Half a meter out here on play 2. Left they go for Brooks. Inside for Ben Trebojevic. Ben Trebojevic goes straight through. He's not held. He reaches out and plants it over the line. Benny Trebojevic scores. They're running away with it here, Manly. 32-12 with the kick to come. Burbo on the inside line. And some really weak middle defense from the Dolphins. Manly will be thinking, where has this performance been? They have been absolutely dire in recent weeks. 9 minutes gone in the second half. Manly up by 20 with the kick to come. One-way traffic. Well, this will be a real test of character for the Dolphins. This season is on the line. They are done for the year if they don't win this game. You would have thought they'd put up more of a fight than this. Cherry Evans puts it through. 34 points to 12. Manly's 1% as they improve their for and against. Manly's 1%. Slowly increasing. They obviously still need the Roosters to lose. And they need the Broncos, ideally, to lose all their games as well. But they need to win the rest of their games, and they need to win them big. 22 points is a pretty handy start. 34-12, 10 gone in the second half. Manly attack the short side. Simpkin onto Bullymore. Bullymore, he's a good... You know what? Can I say, if I was starting a new club, I would have my sights set on Ethan Bullymore. What a hand. Tommy Turbo goes straight through. He's got support in field. Draws in Trey Fuller, and it's a forward pass to Luke Brooks. Brooks was in under the posts. Oh, they are ripping them to shreds here. Tommy Turbo on this left edge. The Dolphins' right edge defense. Oh, it's a mile forward. Tommy Turbo, too many choices. It was 42 on 1. And he throws it forward. But this right edge defense of the Dolphins, paper thin. Tommy Turbo just slices straight through without a hand laid on him. They've fallen apart here, the Dolphins. They were on top against the Broncos, and then they fell off a cliff. They were on top here against Manly, and they've fallen off a cliff. Really missing Cody Nikorima down the short side. Avarillo, quick tap on there from the hammer as Nafahu has to retreat to get it. They lose 10 meters. Up to halfway, late offload. It's loose again. Nichols scoops it up. Katoa to Fuller in midfield, keeping the ball alive. Kerr sends it on now to Feagai. Feagai loses it, says referee Ashley Klein. (34-12), and now another incomplete set. Captain's challenge incoming. We saw Manly burn their challenge in the opening minute, and you kind of thought, here we go. It's going to be another one of those days for Manly. Maxi Fiane not coming through for me today. Well, nobody's come through for me today in the multi. It's been absolutely crazy. All these try scorers and not a single tick. Wild when that sort of stuff happens. So they've captain's challenged the call of a knock on. Captain's challenge is unsuccessful. Manly will get the ball. Quick break. I'll be right back. Manly back on the attack. Here's Tommy Turbo. Blake Medley, you got Sea Eagles minus 24.5. Is it looking bad or good? Minus 24.5. It's looking pretty good. I mean, they're 22 up at the moment. You only need one more try, essentially. Turbo tapped on here by Kohler. Hopewade stepping back in field. Fifth and last now, 20 meters out from the line. Could this be the try that gets them that margin, Blake? Jerry Evans puts it high. Contestable kick. Pressure on Fuller. Fuller loses it. It sits up out the back. And it's knocked backwards. Feagai dives on it. And Asako brings it out of trouble. There's still 27 minutes left to play. But plenty of opportunity for points both ways. Big defense here on Ray Stone. Still, he fights. He struggles forward. He gets post-contact meters. He gets a late offload. Oh, and he's told to go back and play it. Referee Ashley Klein calling held. What a run, though. And it was Josh Kerr, by the way. I'm sorry, not Ray Stone. Francis Molo takes the fifth and last. Dolphins on their own 40. They're going to have a run here. Something different. The hammer up to halfway. Chips over the top. Looking for the bounce is Trey Fuller. And it bounces away from him. And then Cherry Evans has been tackled off the ball. It sums up the day for the Dolphins. Trey Fuller was in open space. He doesn't get the bounce. It bounces away from him. And then the hammer taking DCE off the ball. Easy call, that one. Penalty for Manly. Nothing going the way of the Dolphins here. Jerry Evans puts this one into touch on the halfway line. Still 25 and a half to go. Plenty more points left in this game. As Lodge carries it up to the 30. See, you don't need to miss him, Johnny Michael. He's there. Jerry Evans in midfield. Late ball out the back for Brooks. Brooks dummies. Taken down on the 20. Jerry Evans into play dummy half. Here's Navale in midfield. Was he taken high? No. Play on. 10 meters out here. 2 tackles left. Brooks inside ball for Tommy Turbo. Flick pass back for Simpkin. Keeps it alive for Navale. Navale to Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans has lost it. Well, Cherry Evans has lost it. It's going to go up as no try. They're going to have a look. And I'll just explain what's happened here. Cherry Evans tried to scoop up the pass that was down around the ankles. He's lost the ball, but then kicked it. Navale with the throw back in field, and it's right at DCE's ankles. He scoops it up, and it's on his legs. He's lost it into his legs. And it wedges in between his thighs. He's collected the ball, wedged it in between his thighs. And he's knocked it on. Knock on is the call. You can't regain control with your thighs. Blake, you're from Kentucky and don't really understand rugby, but the games look so fun. Would love to travel and catch a game. Absolutely. Well, Blake, you know, every year for round 1, they go over to Vegas. So, yeah, if you want to head over to Vegas, I don't know how far Vegas is from Kentucky, but that's always an option to head out and catch a game. And so obviously what you need, if you've got a bet on the Sea Eagles for minus 24.5, you need them to essentially win by 25 points or more. So at the moment, they're up by 22 points. You're almost there. And since it's 4 points for a try, if they get across the line again, you're looking mighty, mighty good, my friend. Tackle 4 here for the Dolphins on halfway. Lemuelu carries it into the Sea Eagles territory. 5th and last. Donahue, late pass to Molo. Molo leaves it behind, and that'll be the handover. Well, they're trying something a little different, the Dolphins. It's not working out for them, but they're at least trying. Manly back in possession here. 35 out from their own line. Hopper Wade. Again, what a carry from little Lehigh. He's so teeny tiny, but so powerful. Bullymore up over halfway. Beats the first tackle again, as always. Like I said, if I'm the Perth Bears, I am after Ethan Bullymore. John Michael, welcome back, mate. Nothing beats a good power nap. Cutout pass here from Brooks to Kohler. Kohler angles back in field. Tackle 4, 25 meters out here. Brooks inside for Lodge. Lodge. Late offload. Back for Simpkin. Simpkin's got Navale running hard. 5th and last now. A couple of meters out from the line. Brooks at first receiver. Out the back for Cherry Evans. Late offload is dived on by Francis Molo. And the Dolphins survive. 34-12. 22 minutes left to play. But Manly, I reckon there's plenty more points left in them. They're getting down to the red zone with ease. And the scary thing about this game is there's still time. At 34-12, it's 3 converted tries in 22 minutes is not out of the realms of possibility. And if they can get a couple of them quickly, well, we've seen what can happen. As the Dolphins down that left edge, the hammer onto Nafahu, stops, steps away from the defense, and offloads to be intercepted by Jason Saab. Manly back in possession. It is not their day today, the Dolphins. Not their day at all. Lodge up over halfway. Kaufusi ready to come back on for the Dolphins. Maybe he can give them some go forward. Slow play the ball here for Manly. Brooks onto Tommy T. Out the back for Kohler. Spins out of the contact from Asako. Gets the flick pass back in field for Benny Trebojevic. Here is Sipley in midfield. Cherry Evans onto Brooks. There they are under the post. Brooks gets his try. Unbelievable. 72 tries and not a single tick off the multi. You can't believe it. 38-12 kick to come. There's your minus 24.5, Blake. Now they just need to hold on to it or extend it in the remaining 20 minutes. Jermaine Asako, ineffective tackle again. And then they just opened them up in midfield. Trey Fuller couldn't get back across in cover. Manly, where has this performance been? They will be watching on with great interest as Parramatta take on the Roosters, as they might have just improved their percentage with this performance here, Manly. They might go from 1%, maybe they go from 1% up to like a 5%. But they're still relying on the Roosters and or the Broncos to lose the rest of their games. Cherry Evans from right in front makes it 40 points to 12 with 20 minutes still to play. What a celebration it's been for DCE. His milestone going exactly like he would have wanted. What a big performance here from Manly. I'm glad that I changed my tip at the last minute and went for them. The Dolphins went into this game, of course, slight favourites with the bookmakers, but I think that's just because Manly have been so bloody abysmal in recent weeks. They've needed a performance like this. They were due for a performance like this. 20 minutes left to play. 40 points to 12. Bonds, ahoy, mate. What has gone wrong with the Sea Creatures? Well, obviously injuries have not helped. But, I mean, jeez. They fell off a cliff against the Broncos. They fell off a cliff here today. As Simpkin from dummy half. Up over halfway. Up to the 30. Fifth and last, Manly are just rolling upfield at will. DCE puts it high. Chasing through to put pressure on at the back. And Fuller takes it over his head for a 7-tackle set. Zo plays, ahoy. Here's the hammer on the left edge. Half a break. But yeah, lots of injuries, right? I mean, Herbie Farnworth was a big loss. Jack Bostock was another big loss. No Cody Nikorima today, of course. Flegler out for the season. Yeah, they've had some... Maxi Plath out for the season. They've had a lot of injuries. And now here is Asako down the right edge. Steps back in field. 10 meters out. BNA onto Avarillo. Katoa in midfield. Spins away from one. Late offload here for Marshall King. Fuller with the Harbour Bridge ball over the top to Nafahu. Has to cut back in field. Tackle 4. Down the short side, Marshall King. Cut out pass. Hits the chest of his man. And the try is scored out wide by Lemuelu. £40 to 16. Kick to come. So, yeah, lots and lots of injury concerns. If they had their full-strength team out there, I dare say that they would be doing a little bit better, you would hope. Meeting ghosts, ahoy mates. Eagles helping the Tigers possibly make the 8 if the Chooks lose and the Tigers win all their games. Manly are possibly helping themselves make the 8 if the Chooks lose and Manly win all their games. But I've got to say, I can't really see that happening. Although, let's see, who have the Roosters got coming up? Before we get too carried away with ourselves, let's actually see who have the Roosters got coming up. They've got some tough games coming up. Roosters have got Parramatta tonight. But then they've got the Storm. And then the Bunnies. Conversion successful for Jermaine Asako. 16 minutes 40 left to play. 40 points to 18. Craig Howarth, ahoy mates. Is it a training thing or the way the game is played these days that is causing all these injuries with all the teams? Yeah. Good question. Well, there's been a lot of debate about whether the 6 again rule has obviously sped up the game. But with the increased speed of the game creates more fatigue. More fatigue obviously creates more proneness to injury. So that's something that's been discussed. Whether that's been the cause of all these issues is the Dolphins spill the ball from the kickoff. Oh, that just sums up the Dolphins' day. Isaiah Katoa from the kickoff knocks the ball on. Dear, oh dear. The poor Dolphins, they just can't win a trick at the moment. They go short with the restart, but not short enough. An easy take for Jason Saab. And with 16 minutes to play, Manly, are they thinking about 50? Reed Nichols, ahoy mates. Yes, indeed. Titans, Warriors coming up. Brooks out the back for Cherry Evans. Here's Tommy Turbo. Dummies and slices through. Tommy Turbo scores. 80 tries scored this afternoon and not a single goddamn tick off the multi. Tommy Turbo straight through with ease. 44-18, and they've made them pay from the mistake from the kickoff. John Michael says All Blacks versus Los Pumas in Argentina. Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's a really weird setup to the Rugby Championship this year because usually what you get is you get a game in Argentina and you get a game in New Zealand. But now they're sort of just playing them back to back. So, yeah, we've got South Africa and Australia in Cape Town, Argentina, New Zealand in Buenos Aires. And then there's a week off. And then Australia play Argentina in Australia, New Zealand and South Africa in Auckland. Then Australia, Argentina in Sydney, New Zealand, South Africa in Wellington. Then New Zealand, Australia in Auckland. in Australia and New Zealand in Perth. So, yeah, really weird setup. Ads says seeing a lot of Warriors jerseys around Logan today. Yes, well, they did a I don't know, they did some, whether it was a training session, they did some community thing here in Logan, a meet and greet, something like that, community day. I don't know what it was exactly, but that would explain all the Warriors jerseys here in Logan. 46 points to 18, 14 minutes left to play. Manly looking at 50. Sipley from the restart. "13 minutes left. Can we get a tick off the multi for crying out loud? I can't believe it. 372 tries and none of my try scorers. As Navale puts a great step on. Kaufusi was flying out of the line. Had the radar locked in. Tavanga up over halfway. Offloading for Tommy Turbo. And now Cherry Evans up the middle. Puts a heavy kick in. Needs it to sit up. Brooks is chasing. Brooks is chasing. Bats the ball down. Brooks showing a great turn of pace. But he couldn't control it. And over the dead ball line, it goes for a 7-tackle set. 46-18. John Michael, you're going to watch the Los Pumas All Blacks on ESPN because the Spanish commentators are crazy. Hey, I'll tell you something. If you want to hear some fantastic commentary, even though you don't necessarily have a single clue what's being said, check out some Japanese baseball, John Michael, as Brooks goes for the intercept. I mean, I don't know half the time. I only know certain words because I used to date a Japanese girl and I picked up a few different words. So I don't really understand a whole lot of what's being said, but boy, they get into it. Japanese baseball commentators, check it out. Fantastic stuff. As the Dolphins come up with a spilt ball. Another incomplete set here for the Fins. And a disappointing end for the Dolphins season, really. But I'm very, very glad that I changed my tip last second and went for Manly. I finally got one this weekend. Terry Evans is going to kick on play one. There's nobody at home here for the Dolphins. Flying through. Is it Kola leading the chase? It is. Tolu Kola wins the race to the ball. We finally get a tick off the multi. Tolu Kola. Where was Trey Fuller? There was nobody at the back for the Dolphins. Cherry Evans kicks from the scrum. And Kola has the pace. Scrum down Manly on their own 30-metre line. No fullback. Cherry Evans thumps it upfield. Kola has too much pace. Gets a kind bounce. Scores under the sticks, and there's 50. There's 50 for Manly. The first tick off my multi. It would have been ridiculous to have so many tries and not a single tick. Let's just make sure he's onside. Yes, he is. Cherry Evans spotting that there was nobody at the back. Ten minutes to go in this massacre. As Cherry Evans pops it over from right in front to make it 52 points to 18. 52 points to 18. What a massacre. Ads just says bloody Manly. Blake, I think your bet is pretty much solid now. Minus 24.5. I can't see the Dolphins taking enough of a chunk out with only 9 minutes remaining. Tommy Turbo from the kickoff fires it across into midfield for Brooks. Brooks is taken down on the 10 meters line. Kola from dummy half, or Hopawade it is rather. Brings it out to the 20. Do they go into their shell now, Manly, or do they look for more points? I mean, this has done wonders for their for and against. Down the right edge, Schoupp can't get the arms free. Yeah, this has taken their minus 24 for and against and put them into the positive. But they'll still need the Roosters and or the Broncos to lose. Fifth and last, they're going to run here, Manly. Here's Tommy Turbo. Cut out pass onto the chest of Hopawade. Hopawade with support from Tommy Turbo in field. And they've scored another one. 56-18. They are just destroying the Dolphins on that left edge. Tom Trbojevic to Lehigh Hopawade. What a combination. They've done another one. XJC, ahoy, mate. They've had a run on the fifth and last. Jermaine Asako, again, not trusting his inside man. Asako, he has been atrocious in defense today. Jamming in again, not trusting the inside defender. Again, it was Max Feagai. Oh, Blake, you bet them live, minus 30.5 as well. Oh, well, you're looking good on that one as well, because about to be a 40-point differential with this conversion. XJC, you tipped the Dolphins. I had tipped the Dolphins until 5 minutes before kickoff, when I saw that Jake Averillo shifted to the halves. Trey Fuller came. Late shuffles are never good for a team. Very rarely do late shuffles work out. No Cody Nikorima. They've really missed him. As Cherry Evans puts this one down the middle, 58 points to 18. Seven minutes left to go. So, yeah, lucky I managed to spot the late shift and change my tip. Yeah, they've just been absolutely dismantled. Of the Dolphins. Their right edge defense, Asako, showing no faith in Maxi Feagai. Back underway. And it's Takiaho with the hit up. 7 minutes left to play. A 40-point lead. Cheers, Blake. Catch you later, mate. Up to the 40 on play 3. Manly rolling upfield. Down the short side. Sipley. Dummies. Craig Howe, if you hate that you have to support Parramatta tonight, but you hope they win against the Roosters. And also, what this victory has done, it's Feagai. Straight in to make a hit on Tommy Turbo. Fifth and last. Kaufusi up quickly on DCE. They're going to run again. Tunnel ball by Brooks. Out to Kola. And Kola puts it high. Taken at the back here by Nafahu. Taken down on the 40. And down in back plays Tolu Kola with some cramps. He'll be all good. Yeah, XJC. Technically, the Sharks are still in the top 4, but That's only because they've already been given the 2 points for the bye. They would need the Titans to beat the Warriors. If the Titans beat the Warriors, then they'll stay there. But a Warriors win and Broncos win, they both go ahead of the Sharks. Sharks drop back down to 6th. 6 again here for the Dolphins. 10 meters out from the line. Molo taken down. Marshall King onto Keeley. Oren Keeley taken a couple of meters out. Looking for some consolation points here, the Dolphins. Katoa. Crash ball for Kaufusi. Kaufusi's over the line and scores. Felise Kaufusi gets one back. 58 points to 22. Kick to come. Knee crumbler, ahoy mate. I finally got to play the track during the halftime break. You'll be happy to know. John Michael, you've got good news concerning your new iPhone 16 Pro Max. Oh, yes? Do tell. Oh, God, Cherry Evans was broken his nose. Oh, DCE has broken his nose on Felise Kaufusi's head. Jerry Evans, a busted schnoz. With 4.5 to play. $58 points to 24. All these tries and still just one tick off the multi. You can't believe it. Having a good chuckle about it, DCE. Yeah, that was a big bump. Busted nose. Francis Molo charges from the back fence. Can they jag another one here, the Dolphins? Some consolation points. Vinny Fuiaki brings it outside the red zone. Katoa dummies inside twice. Gets away from the defense. Now he heads back infield for Fuller. Fuller from a standing start. Nice, solid defensive line here. Up to halfway, Marshall King onto Katoa. Late pass out the back for Avarillo. Spun down in the tackle is the Dolphins on halfway, 5th and last. A high ball with not a lot of distance. They've allowed it to bounce and it sets up for the Fins. Kicking through is Keeley. The bounce into touch. Off Manly though. Off Tommy Turbo. John Michael, the kind salesperson, switched over the SIM card from the old phone to the new phone, and it all works well now. Very cool. 3 minutes left to play. I hope that Blake didn't tap out too early because here come the Dolphins looking to put pay to his 30. A converter try here, well, he'll get a nasty surprise when he logs into his bookie. They score here. A meter out. Marshall King. Cut out pass. Left they go. The hammer onto Nafahu. Stepping back in field. Manly's defense holds firm for now. 2 tackles left. Dolphins. Katoa shuffles it on here for Keeley. Through the hands, right. Well read there by Luke Brooks. Shuts the play down. Averillo sacked. He's been ineffective tonight in the halves. Averillo, fifth and last. Katoa looking to chip in over the top. It's charged down. That'll be 6 more tackles. As Katoa recollects the ball. The hammer from dummy half. Gives it infield. Cut out pass now out wide for Fuiaki. Taken down 5 out on this right-hand side. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Fuller down the short side. Brooks goes for the intercept. It's 6 more tackles. Penalty, though, offside Manly. Well, here they come, the Dolphins. Asako taps and goes. Francis Molo off the right boot. Finds half a gap. Taken down a metre out. Katoa. And again, it's battered down by Manly. A knock on. A minute and a half remaining. They're up by 34. Poor Blake. He put a live bet on. He's already won 1 bet, so I'm sure he's okay. But he put a live bet on Manly minus 30.5, I think it was. A converted try will do him in. Well, a try would do him in if that was the case. I hope he hasn't tapped out too early, or he's in for a nasty surprise. Keeley spins into contact there of Bullymore. Tackle 2. A metre out. Desperate to keep their line intact here, Manly. Crash ball to Kurt Donahue, is it? No, it's turn around, mate. Let me see your... It's Lemuelu. Connolly, Lemuelu. 58-28. Oh, Blake is going to... Oh, poor Blake. He's going to get a nasty surprise here. He's still going to win his original bet. But he put a live one on. He put a live one on at minus 30.5. If they put this conversion over... Oh, what a heartbreaker there. Meeting Ghosts says Eels to cause the upset. Chooks due for a come down. As Katoa puts this one over to make it 58 points to 30 at full time. 642 tries and just 1 tick off the multi. Unbelievable. Big win here for Manly. Titans Warriors coming up next. Thank you so much for being with me here for this one. We'll be back shortly. Cheers.